Picture this. A life that seems straight out of a dream. A loving husband, a steady job, a cozy house in the suburbs. Everything feels perfect, until it isn't. Today, I'm going to tell you the story of Daniel Carter. A man whose world was shattered when his wife betrayed him with his boss. But instead of crumbling, Daniel turned his heartbreak into a weapon, flipping the script on the cheaters and coming out on top in a way no one saw coming. This isn't just a tale of revenge, it's a lesson in rising from the ashes. Are you ready? Let's dive in. Daniel Carter was 38, a software engineer at a tech firm in Seattle. He was the kind of guy you'd call dependably nice, not flashy, but solid. He adored his wife, Emily, a 35-year-old interior designer with a knack for turning houses into homes. Married for 8 years, they had no kids, but Daniel didn't mind. As long as I have Emily, he'd say, I've got everything. Every morning, he'd leave for work with a smile, sipping coffee Emily brewed, and come home to dinners they cooked together. Their life was like a postcard, charming, predictable, perfect, or so Daniel thought. But cracks started to show. Emily grew distant. She began staying late at work, blaming it on big design projects. Long conversations dwindled into curt texts. Daniel, ever the trusting husband, chalked it up to stress. He tried to rekindle the spark, planning date nights, bringing her flowers, even suggesting a weekend getaway. But Emily brushed him off. Always too busy. Her excuses were flimsy, but Daniel's love for her blinded him to the truth. For now. One evening, Daniel decided to surprise Emily. He swung by her design studio with her favorite pizza and a bouquet of roses, hoping to steal her away for a spontaneous date. But the office was dark. Empty. The security guard shrugged. She left hours ago. A knot formed in Daniel's stomach. But he told himself it was nothing, she probably had a last-minute meeting. He called her. No answer. Driving home, unease gnawed at him. When he pulled into their driveway, Emily's car was there, but so was another, a sleek, unfamiliar BMW. His pulse quickened. Stepping inside, he heard muffled laughter from upstairs. His feet felt heavy as he climbed the stairs, dread pooling in his chest. The bedroom door was ajar. And there, in the soft glow of the bedside lamp, was Emily, wrapped in the arms of Michael Hayes, Daniel's boss, the CEO of his company. Time stopped. Daniel didn't scream or charge in. He just stood there, frozen. As his world imploded, Emily's laughter, Michael's smug grin, it burned into his memory. Quietly, he backed away, slipping out of the house like a ghost. In that moment, he realized he hadn't just lost his wife. His career, his stability, his pride, everything was at stake. How do you keep working for the man who stole your life? The days that followed were a blur of agony. Daniel took sick leave, dodging Emily's calls. She finally cornered him, tears in her eyes, claiming it was just a mistake, and that she still loved him. But Daniel wasn't buying it. Digging through her phone one sleepless night, he found the truth. Emily and Michael had been sneaking around for at least 6 months. Texts, emails, business trips, that were really romantic getaways, it was all there. A knife twisting deeper with every discovery. He hit rock bottom, alone with a bottle of whiskey, staring at the wreckage of his life. But in that darkness, something shifted. He remembered his father's words, "You can't control what others do to you, but you can control how you fight back." Daniel made a choice. He wouldn't let Emily and Michael win. He wouldn't be their victim. Instead, he'd outsmart them, using their own deceit against them. His pain became his fuel, and a plan began to form. Daniel got to work, methodical and relentless. First, he gathered evidence. He saved every incriminating text and email, even hiring a private investigator to document Emily and Michael's secret rendezvous. The pie uncovered something bigger. Michael wasn't just cheating on his own wife. He was embezzling company funds to bankroll lavish trips with Emily. Hotel suites, private dinners, designer gifts. It was all paid for with stolen money. Back at work, Daniel played the part of the loyal employee. He buried his anger, doubled his efforts, and delivered flawless projects, earning the trust of the company's board. Meanwhile, he reached out to Michael's wife, Susan, a sharp, no-nonsense woman who had no clue about her husband's double life. Daniel shared the evidence, photos, receipts, bank records, but asked her to hold off until the perfect moment. Susan's eyes burned with fury, but she agreed to wait. At home, Daniel filed for divorce. He told Emily he didn't want a fight, just a clean break, thinking he was broken and desperate. She signed the papers without a second thought. What she didn't know was that Daniel, with help from a savvy lawyer, had quietly transferred their joint assets into a protected account, perfectly legal, perfectly discreet. Emily thought she'd walk away with half of everything. She was wrong. The trap was set, and it sprang at the worst possible moment for Michael. During a high-stakes board meeting, Daniel was slated to present a major project. The room buzzed with anticipation as he connected his laptop to the projector. But instead of slides about software, the screen lit up with something else: screenshots of Michael and Emily's emails, photos of their clandestine meetings, and bank statements detailing Michael's embezzlement. The boardroom went silent, jaws on the floor. Michael stammered, his face red, trying to spin a lie. But then Susan walked in. As a minority shareholder, she'd been invited at Daniel's suggestion. She stood tall, her voice icy as she laid into Michael, corroborating every piece of evidence. "You thought you could humiliate me?" she said. "You're done." Across town, Emily got a call from her bank. Her accounts, joint accounts she thought were flush, were empty. Panicked, she dialed Daniel, screaming accusations. His voice was calm, almost chilling. "You made your choice, Emily. Now live with it." Michael was fired on the spot. With criminal charges looming, Susan filed for divorce, leaving him penniless. Emily, abandoned by her lover and broke, was left with nothing but regret. Daniel didn't stick around to gloat. He left the company and poured his energy into a tech startup. Within 2 years, his company was the talk of Seattle, a beacon of innovation. He found love again, too, a kind, grounded woman who saw his worth and matched his heart. Daniel's story isn't just about getting even. It's about reclaiming your power when the world tries to break you. Here's what it teaches us. Lesson 1. Don't let pain define you. Let it drive you to become stronger. Lesson 2. Betrayal hurts, but your response shapes your future. Choose wisely. Lesson 3. The best revenge isn't destruction, it's thriving so brightly that those who hurt you can't look away from their mistakes. What do you think of Daniel's comeback? Have you ever had to rise above betrayal? Drop a comment below, and let's talk about it. If this story hit home, give it a like, hit that subscribe button, and join us for more tales of justice and redemption on Revenge Ruby. See you next time.